Good morning. It is 6:58 a.m. on a day, Wednesday, September 29th, 2021. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. I want to report on my rice cooker. I like it. I had heard good things about rice cookers in the past, and it had been sort of in the back of my mind to get one for quite some time. I finally did, and it was a good decision. First and foremost, because they are not expensive. I mean, there are big expensive ones that you could buy, but the one that I bought, not big nor expensive. It's a little 3 cup version, pretty cheap. It's actually not even that complicated. They make more complicated ones that you could get, but that's not necessary in order to have a good rice cooker experience. So I have found. The basic premise of how they work is that it has a it's a carefully calibrated thermostat that's designed to, measure the temperature of what it's cooking. So believe it or not, it's actually a very similar sort of functionality to cigarette lighter in the sense that it's got sort of a heating coil, and then it's got the cooking pot that sort of sits on top of it and then pushes down on against the heating coil like with a spring, and then sort of locks in place. And then it begins heating the heating coil, which heats the rice and water that you have added to the cooking pot. And then it's just on cook until all of a sudden it detects that the temperature of the water rises above 212, which 212 Fahrenheit being the boiling point of water. So that's what it's looking for, right? And the reason it's looking for that is because if you are dealing with rice in water and it's boiling, then the water temperature is never going to get above boiling because that's how water and boiling works. But as soon as there's no water left and it's just cooked rice in there, it says, whoop, temperature's starting to go up above boiling. Release the spring, and it just pops up a fraction of an inch so that it's not being cooked as aggressively. The heating coil is just still got some retained heat, but is no longer cooking. So now it's in keep warm mode. And it just works. It just works. Not that I found cooking rice too terribly difficult before, as I've been doing it in a saucepan. But it just, you have to pay attention to it, right? Like you have to kind of monitor it, make sure it's not boiling over or that you haven't, continued to cook it for too long. This just solves it, You just, the only question is just needing to know how much water to put in there. And then there's a little bit of a question of like just estimating how long it's going to take. Not that you have to watch it like a hawk, but just so that you'll know when it's ready. And it just, you want to cook some rice, you put some rice in there, you put the right amount of water in there for the amount of rice that you put in there, and then it's just, when it's done, and it's just perfect. And I'm just like kind of amazed. It's like, oh, hey, look. This thing that has not ever been difficult but is mildly inconvenient or stressful during cooking just because you have to pay attention to it or else it messes it up and then it makes the pot really hard to clean and all of that sort of thing. Just now it's just easy. I don't have to think about it. And that's great in my opinion. So I'd actually been meaning to talk about that before now, but just kind of, yeah. But I've now made 2 different meals in it, and it's just, well, actually 3, I guess. Yeah, 3 because last night's included some too. But yeah, it just solves that problem in a way that was pretty inexpensive and really useful. So I'm just very pleased with that. So, got gosh, the one other thing that I was going to talk about. I didn't really think I was going to take the full 5 minutes for the rice cooker. Um, yeah, you know what? The other issue I don't want to do just as like a tag on at the end of it, especially since it's a sort of a very different topic. So I'll just leave it there, and I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.